All right, and we are back for another Megatron Draws. It's the first draw stream since the birthday stream last month. So, yeah, episode 101. Holy shit. Holy shit, come a long way. And today we're going to be working on Elita 1. Now, I think we already did the stream, at least the pencils for this one, but we never did the full colors yet. So, been kind of hanging on to this one for a little while. I kind of just quickly drew up this little background this morning. Just gonna, because I was originally going to do the classic sort of the comic book sort of panel lines, or panel backdrop. But I think I was like, it's just a little bit extra. This could be a little bit extra today. I'm just gonna kind of tidy up the inks a little bit. But we'll just leave it there, because we will get started on the coloring. I haven't wanted to do this one for a little while, actually. It's been left on the back burner for quite some time. So let's move this away, and we gotta find some pinks, because there's a lot to cover with her, because she has sort of three main sort of shades of pink. She has kind of a lighter shade. She has one that's kind of more of a salmon color, and then there's one that's kind of more of a hot pink in her design. So we kind of have to get all three variations kind of down to a T. Right here, we need a new sheet of paper to kind of test things out. Yeah. All right. Let's grab all the pinks I got. This guy's dead for some reason. It's RV19. Don't know why. It's got too dry down here or something. Got to see if I can fix that. That's working better. Okay, alright, get this guy instead. And grab you. All right. And light prawn. Nope, not you. Ooh, salmon red. Maybe. Nope. Too deep color. All right. All right, so this will kind of start with the sort of the lightest pink on her, which will just be her, what seems like to be, so the shoulders, the arms, the helmet, and some parts of the torso. So we'll kind of do that first. Sort of a very, very light sort of shade. I think I'll use the very, very light ones for the skin. Not the skin, but you know what I mean. Okay. All right. Okay, just checking my reference there. I think I'll leave these a separate color. The little tips on her little cheek there, or whatever you want to call it. Want to make sure I have some highlights as well. Very, very important to kind of have that, especially when you're drawing transformers, because they're supposed to be metal, so they should be kind of reflecting light as they would. right. Just kind of wait until people start showing. That way I can kind of talk more about her, a little bit more about her lore. So I'm kind of waiting enough people in the chat before I do so. That way I'm just talking to myself here. Okay. And then should grab the collar, and that should all be taken care of there. Okay, and then just kind of like a little bib, for lack of better terms, at least this shape here. So we got the torso, and then we'll kind of move on to the arms. And little parts on their pelvic region, for lack of a better term. Okay. I'm trying to avoid the autoblad symbol as much as I can. And it's just these two little things here. All right. Okay. Kind of has some little extra details with the pink here. Hey, Real White, how's it going, man? Good to see you. All right. Okay. I almost want these to be a pink, but I'm gonna leave it for now. Okay. I'll pull this guy up. Yeah. Slightly lighter shade of pink. It's kind of an R000. Just kind of add a bit more depth to her. All right. Now I'm using RV23, just gonna add a slightly darker shade. Try to bring out some shadows. So we'll just kind of add a little bit extra sort of texture and detail to her. Hey, Deadman. How's it going? All right. So we are 20. All right, I collect these. Okay. All right. So I guess we kind of have a little bit of an audience now. So I guess I'll kind of go a little bit into Lita 1's origin story. A little, well, not really an origin story, but kind of. We'll kind of just talk about the original G1 version of the character, because obviously that character's kind of come about in more recent adaptations. Most notably in the War for Cybertron Netflix series, as well as in the Earthspark cartoon. So she started to become a little more popular nowadays. She's kind of, not that she was like written out, but you know, she's kind of not really utilized as much as she is now. But yeah, so she's basically the first, well, not the first female Transformer in the franchise, because obviously there was like Nightbird. I think there's like one character, I think, in that Sea Spray episode. Although I can't remember if that was before or after the Search for Albatron episode, which is where she kind of debuted. But in any case, she was kind of tasked with hunting down. Hold on, gotta fix this real quick. But basically, her task was she was basically hidden away on Cybertron when the Autobots left to go to Earth, and she's kind of like, you know, she's kind of running this sort of resistance group against Shockwave, who while Megatron was away on Earth to do his thing there, Shockwave was kind of the one who was kind of, you know, taking command on Cybertron while Megatron was on Earth, and so she was kind of leading a resistance force to kind of take down Shockwave and all that. And now she was kind of thought to have been deceased for a long time, just because the way the episode went in the Search for Albatron episode, you kind of find out that, you know, Prime thought she was killed, but that wasn't the case at all. She was very much alive, and yeah. But a little bit about her history. She was basically created. Well, first of all, she was created by Alpha Trion after Megatron kind of shot her down, where we kind of found, in the War Dawn episode, we kind of see the aerial bots go back in time. They're kind of sent back in time by Megatron, and in doing so, they meet the early days of Optimus Prime and Megatron. So they kind of find out that Optimus Prime wasn't always Optimus Prime. He was actually a young bot named Orion Pax, which is kind of like your average kind of worker bot. Wasn't really, but he's also very, very naive and all that. And so at first he kind of admired Megatron, you know, when he first met him and all that, because he was powerful, he could fly and all these things, he had an army. And so But he very, very quickly learned that Megatron wasn't what all that cracked up to be, and so he ended up betraying him and almost killed him, along with Elita 1 here, who was kind of his love interest at the time. And she went by a different name named Ariel before she was rebuilt by Alpha Trion, who was he's kind of considered like he was kind of nicknamed the father of the Autobots. And hey, Masters of Maniac, good to see you. Working on a Donkey Kong sculpture. Nice. Or sculpt for an action figure. Gotcha. That's good. Yeah. Yeah, I actually watched. I used to watch a lot of statue making videos and stuff like that. The one thing I really like to watch actually is those resin diorama videos. Those things are really cool to watch. Just to see how people make those things. But yeah, so Alpha Trion, he's kind of like considered like the grandfather of the Autobots, for lack of a better term. He's kind of like considered the very first Autobot, which you kind of find out a little bit more once we get to season 3, when Hot Rod opens the Matrix, or no, not the Matrix. No, a little bit of that, but I think I can't remember what episode it was. It might have been another time travel episode or time paradox episode, where you kind of saw Alphatron in his early days kind of fighting against the Quintessons and all that. Yeah, I love those resin videos. All right. Just want to blend out the torso here a bit more. All right. But yeah, in terms of her personality, she's kind of like a female Optimus Prime in a sense. She's very, very wise, very, very, yeah, because kind of like how Optimus Prime kind of takes on that sort of father-like figure type of role. She kind of takes on that motherly sort of role as a character. Like, she's very, very kind, she's very, very compassionate. And yeah. But after that episode, we never really know what happens to her and the other female Autobots in that episode. They kind of just like vanish in the series, so don't really get to learn too much about them in the original cartoon. Other than that, they were, Elita 1 was Optimus Prime's quote unquote love interest, which I guess I kind of talk about love. I guess how romance kind of works in the Transformers lore, because it is kind of a weird subject matter to kind of talk about. But I guess it's kind of depicted different ways. It's kind of more just like, it's kind of more like an asexual relationship, because it's like obviously with Transformers, they don't reproduce in the way humans or animals do, because Transformers are built, or they're given life by the well of Allsparks or Vector Sigma, depending on the iteration. There's different variations of how the Transformers race kind of came about, but it ain't through sex. I'm just gonna put it that way. So, but because they're robots with feelings and emotions and all that, they are still able to kind of form those very essential sort of key emotional bonds with each other. So that's how that works. And we got 4 people in the chat. Nice. Just see if I can bring the color down. It's kind of weird because the color on in real life is very different compared to on the screen. It's a little bit more reddish, or it's more salmon looking on the screen than it actually is. Much more vibrant, sort of a pink, it's more of like a Power Ranger pink, the pink Power Ranger sort of in real life, like in bedrooms. It's problem with any streams. The lighting's kind of off sometimes. All right, I think I'm good with that for now, at least. I'll probably come back in later with some maybe cool grays. I'm thinking more cool grays for the gray tones here. But we're gonna move on to the because she has three sort of main sort of shades of pink. So we're gonna move on to the hot pink now, which is kind of gonna be the bulk of her design here. And I think I'm gonna. Oh, you're dying on me. All right, use you. I think maybe. We'll start with this color. And okay, so it'll be this thing, and then it's kind of a reddish almost color. Yeah, we'll stick with this though for now. Okay. We can adjust things as we go still, so it's not a big deal. Kind of leave the arm socket, whatever you want to call it, for the time being. Okay, should be good enough. As for more other appearances from Elita 1, just kind of thinking here, just kind of spacing out there. But yeah, some more appearances that we've kind of seen her in over the years. We saw her in Transformers Animated, that cartoon. Although I wasn't really a big fan of the way they portrayed her in that cartoon. I didn't like that they made her Black Arachnia. Like you kind of find out that she was, friends with Optimus Prime and Sentinel Prime, and they were kind of on this mission. This obviously in Transformers Animated, they kind of depict Optimus Prime as being a lot younger, a lot more inexperienced and all that. And so on a mission that kind of went south, she was kind of left behind on this like planet with all these like alien spiders and all that. Because Optimus and Sentinel kind of thought that she was dead, and so she was, I guess it was, and then she was kind of found by the Decepticons, and then she was kind of taken in, and she kind of turned into a sort of a half organic, half robot sort of character. Which I mean, I like the character of Black Arachne in the show. I just didn't really like that they used Elita 1 for the character as the former version of herself. Like, they could have just used a different sort of character name or something like that, and I'd be fine with that. But that's the only thing I didn't really like about that show. I mean, there's a lot of things I didn't like about it, but overall, I still really love that cartoon still. So one show that got canceled that shouldn't have by Cartoon Network, because there's a lot of really cool ideas that they were kind of floating around for a little while. But they were going to have a Shattered Glass episode where we would see Sari and Bulkhead kind of. They kind of they were going to travel into the Shattered Glass world, which is basically where you see the opposite versions of the Transformers. Like we would see a good version of Megatron, a good version of Starscream, and then the evil version of like Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, and all them. So that was like something I was like really kind of excited to see, but didn't really get to, because show got canned. And hey, Power, how's it going, man? Yep, she was a humanoid spider in that show, and also on top of that, they were kind of hinting at doing more Beast Wars stuff as well, because they had a Waspinator in a couple episodes as well. So yeah, a lot of missed opportunities for the cartoon there. All right, let's get our robo panties going, for lack of a better term. All right. Heard about that. There was supposed to be a reverse world. Yeah, it's called like the Mirror World or something like that, or the episode was going to be based on. But yeah, that's basically what it was going to be based. It's going to be based on the Shattered Glass storyline that was kind of made more popular by IDW, which I think that the original storyline just came from like a little I think it might have just came from like a little comment that you would get from like a BotCon or something like that. It was kind of a throwaway idea as a joke, kind of, but it quickly became very, very popular by fans. And fans really liked the idea, because Transformers never really done much when it came to like multiverse level storylines. You know, it was always more DC and Marvel, where they really focus on all these Elseworld stories and stuff like that. But it was the first time that Transformers really kind of played with that idea of having like the reverse of their classic characters. It was kind of an interesting concept. Which I'm surprised that they've never really done like an animated movie or something like that. Like, that's one thing I really wish that Transformers really took advantage of for a while. It's kind of like how DC did, for back when DC was actually worth watching in animation form. But in their heyday, you would have DC animated movies every other Wednesday, every other year. It's just I just keep thinking about what if Transformers actually kind of follow that sort of pattern for a while at some point. That'd be kind of cool. If we saw them kind of adapting some of the more classic IDW storylines. All right, and we'll grab little things here. And okay. Oh, and this little bugger. Okay. So I'm just gonna kind of add this sort of light prawn, kind of give it back that sort of. It's more of a reddish sort of pink sort of look. It's kind of a odd color that she has there. I just want to use this color to kind of map out where I want it to all go. And I think that might be a little bit too orangey, but we'll kind of fix that as we go. It'll darken up just a little bit in a minute. All right. It's a little bit too light for my liking, but we'll kind of fix that as we go. Hey, Castle. Oi, oi. Exactly. All right. But yeah, so Elita 1, she hasn't really had as many significant roles since in the franchise as much. So I got spacing out a little bit. Concentrate. So I'm trying to turn one color into a different color, trying to make it, yeah. Because I'm trying to get this, like, it's a very specific sort of shade of pink that she has. So I'm trying to make it stand out from the bright pink as much as possible over here. So that kind of requires a lot more thinking. But you know, she's kind of. But I think she did appear in one of the movies. I think she was supposed to be the purple motorcycle in Revenge of the Fallen, if I'm mistaken. But she didn't really do anything because there was like 3 motorcycles, but they weren't really they didn't really play a role in the story as much. But she did kind of have a bit more of a bigger role in the Netflix series, but I didn't really care for her in that show, to be honest. She was just very, very out of character, very, very bitchy, very whiny, you know. Yeah, she was complaining all the time. Just didn't really care for that. She didn't really have that sort of. She really didn't exude much wisdom, you know. She was supposed to be her and Athos were because her and Athos weren't really wise in those shows. It's kind of like one thing that's kind of missing from a lot of these more newer interpretations of those characters, that they're supposed to be very, very wise, very, very well spoken, and very, you know, very focused characters. You know, they're not people who in the Netflix series they kind of portray Athos as being very, very whiny, very, very you know, not really whiny, but he was very, very pouty. He was very, very depressed, seemingly like in the show. It was very just not like Athos Prime at all. Like he wasn't like he was kind of like he's just kind of. I understand to an extent, like because obviously he's kind of shouldering the burdens of being a leader in this war and all that. But it's just like, you know, that's not how Athos Prime carries himself. Like he always tries to carry himself with a bit more dignity, a bit more strength, and with more optimism. It's like it's literally in his name, Optimus Prime. You know, it's like supposed to be a bit more lively Prime. And I feel like, and this is one thing that the War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron games got right about Optimus Prime, was because even though they were in a very, very sort of dire situation in those games, like they're on the brink of defeat almost, because they have one last, especially in Fall of Cybertron, because they're working so hard to keep the Ark safe and secured and untouched by the Decepticons, because that's their last sort of hope of getting off of the planet, because the planet's dying and all that. But even throughout all that, Optimus Prime still carries himself with, you know, a sense of dignity and kind of with a very high spirit. You know, he's always kind of, you know, encouraging the Autobots. He's always, you know, being you know, in the game, you kind of see the way he kind of carries himself as a true leader should, you know, in those moments. Not, you know, you don't see him doubt himself. You don't see him, you know, going through a midlife crisis almost. You know, he's very much in control of his feelings as he should be. Didn't really see that in the Netflix series as much. So that's one of the big reason why I didn't like the Netflix series in general. Didn't really care for the, you know, the portrayal of Optimus Prime in that series. They almost kind of made Megatron even a bit more noble in a sense, like especially in the very first season. Like they kind of, you know, because like you kind of see Megatron actually kind of trying to reason with Prime at the very start of the show. He's trying to, like, you know, start a peace treaty or something like that or whatever. Like it's just like, really, it's like it's like I don't know. It's kind of like just, it was kind of out of character for both of them, but it was just like I don't know. I think that Prime he was just making a lot of decisions that he just would not make in that show. I just disagreed with, and I felt like Megatron had a bit more of a noble side to him in that show, which I don't really think which was also kind of out of character for him. But I mean, they are kind of basing him off of the IDW version of Megatron, so I can kind of understand where they're coming from with that. But by noble, I mean he has higher intentions of like, protecting Cybertron, because like they kind of, because in the whole storyline of the show, the Megatron is trying to get his hands on the Allspark, and Prime wants to get rid of the Allspark because Megatron in the show, I think Megatron like was kind of trying to use the Allspark to kind of, like, I guess in the show they kind of made it to where he could possibly manipulate the Allspark into forcibly turning Autobots into Decepticons, and so the Autobots wanted to get rid of that, or Prime wanted to send the Allspark off the planet, but in doing so, because in this version the Allspark is basically the key to Cybertron's survival. Like if you remove the Allspark, like Cybertron kind of dies. It's kind of like the heart of Cybertron, which really wasn't the case in most versions, although the Allspark kind of came about from the movies. But like, yeah. And so the whole storyline is Optimus Prime sending the Allspark away from Cybertron, and thus we kind of see the aftermath of that in, I think, the third season. When they come back to Cybertron, and it's just like Prime. I just don't think Prime would do that. It's just like because in that whole storyline, it should have just been about Prime trying to get off Cybertron to begin with. Like it shouldn't have been this whole goose chase finding this Allspark. It's just like no, just keep it simple. Keep it simple. Just make it a story about them trying to survive and leave Cybertron. Like that should have just been the whole storyline. They should have added this extra stuff. But ultimately, does nothing but deconstruct the character in a sense, So. But yeah, so now we kind of have confirmation that she will be in the Cybertron animated film that they've been kind of working on, and she's gonna be played by Scarlett Johansson, which I don't really know how I feel about the casting for her. I mean, obviously, it's gonna be a younger version of the character, so I might, but even still, I think that I guess it kind of depends on what their direction is for that character in the movie. And they're going to have Chris Hemsworth playing Orion Pax. Originally, it was thought of that he was going to be playing Optimus Prime, but it was more so. But it was kind of confirmed. I think it was confirmed that was not really the case. He's going to be playing the Orion Pax portion of that character, and not Optimus Prime, because they are going to bring in Peter Cullen and for that part of the movie. I think that's what's going to happen. That's what I heard. But they're getting someone else to play Megatron aside from Frank Welker, which kind of hurts, but it is what it is. I was kind of hoping when this whole animated film was kind of being rumored that this was kind of going to be kind of like the big send-off film for the Transformers. Obviously the dream would be like to have it be where they brought back some of the original voice actors like Corey Burton, Dan Gilliston, Frank and Peter, Greg Berger, possibly, just bring in some of the old original cast members, just for one last sort of adventure before, passing it on to the next generation. I was kind of hoping for that. But doesn't seem like they're going to be going in that direction. They're going to be kind of using more newer actors, which, I mean, as they should. They should obviously have newer actors kind of playing these parts. Because obviously these younger actors aren't going to be here forever. But I was kind of hoping that was going to be what they were going to go for with this movie. It's like one last adventure with these guys, and then pass it on to the next generation. Yep, David Kay. Yeah, David Kay would be cool to see. I would have preferred that. I would have liked it if they had David Kay play the part of Ryan Pax and then have him transition over to Peter Cullen. I think that would be really, really cool if they did that instead. Because David Kay did play Optimus Prime in Transformers Animated, where he played the younger version of that character in that show. I think that would be kind of cool if they actually brought him back for that. Craig Burton was awesome as Shockwave. Like, he's the original voice of Shockwave. He also played Spike, and he also played Megatron in the Transformers animated cartoon. He did an amazing job with that. As well as many other characters in that show. He played Ratchet as well. I'm just going to fix this real quick. Oh, I think it's the wrong color. It's okay though. All right. She's starting to shape up a bit more. I cannot speak today. I'm just stuttering all day. Need some water. But yeah, so with the Cybertron film, it seems that they're going to be very, very heavily inspired by the aligned continuity. So they're going to be very inspired by the novels. It seems like just the way they kind of worded the way they're going to be portraying the characters of Optimus Prime and Megatron is very, very similar to the way they were in the books. Which I'm actually kind of going through right now. I've been reading the Exodus novel for the first time. Still working on it. I'm a very, very slow reader. I just read them when I'm on my breaks. Most of the time, that's when I mostly read them, so I don't have time. And I have a bunch of like Star Wars novels I still need to get to as well. I was really into the EU for a little bit, but I just never really got around to it. I read the Thrawn trilogy, and I read the Jedi Academy trilogy, and I read Dark Empire, the comic book. And I started reading I, Jedi, because that's what comes after the Jedi Academy trilogy, but I just haven't really been able to pick it up for a little while. It's been too busy. So I think I might need to start listening to audiobooks. But yeah. All right, we're getting somewhere. All right. All right. I think we're done for that portion of her for now. She might just bring back our V55 just for one last sweep. All right, should be good enough for the hot pink there. So you get the little torso bit there, and that'll be just about. Yeah, it should be about it. I think I'm gonna go for a little bit more of a purplish sort of pink here. Just gonna make it a little more. Just trying to see. It's kind of more like this color pink actually. It's a little bit different. Yeah, it's a little bit different shade. Just gonna go with the more purple look. So. Let's see. Lighting's just way too bright. Yeah, it's a little better. Just want to show the difference in the different shades of pink here. Just kind of blend that out. That should be good enough for now. Bring some gray tones in a minute. Let's see. Now we gotta do these sort of the whites on her. So I'm gonna go with some toner grays. I might just throw in a little bit of a hint of sort of like a pinkish sort of violet color to her as well. I'm just going to give her a bit more depth. Not 100% robotic. Yeah. More, it's a bit more feminine. All right. Okay. I'll bring in some toner grays, kind of bring out that sort of grayish look to it. But not too much. I want to kind of keep that sort of pearly, sort of white to her skin, for lack of a better term. All right. All right. Also, add a little bit of a sort of a bluish sort of tint, just a little bit. Just to kind of bring back that sort of metallic metal sort of feeling, just a tiny bit. All right. And since we're already on the blues, might as well just get the eyes out of the way. Bring it up. The blender. Just gonna add a little. Faded sort of look there for the eye, just a little bit. Just kind of blend the colors together. There we go. All right, let's pull out some grays. And start with the gun, and we'll do some of the joints. Oh, you know what? Real quick, I'm just gonna grab the auto bus symbol real quick. So some red. Forget. All right. Okay, and you know what? Might as well add the little yellow bit I want to add on the top here. think we're good. I think we're good. For now, anyways. I'll probably come back later with some touch-ups to the pink. For now, we'll kind of just leave it for now. Get the grays going. And we can worry about touch-ups last. Okay, got my cool grays. Neutral grays. Here's your cool grays for the body. We'll start with C4 at. There we go. Cover that all up. And I'll grab the gun. Okay, should be good enough there. What time is it? 4 o'clock, 4:30. All right. Decide what kind of grays I want to use. You know, I think we should use toner grays for her pink. All right. Yeah, I'll just bring the T2 to trigger some extra shadow. Oh, never mind. This one's dried up. What the fuck? All drying up. Jesus. Let's leave it for that now then. We use C2. Tidy up that gun there. And we'll move on to the buildings. So I haven't really figured out what I want to do for the buildings just yet, at least in terms of colors. I'm thinking about more of like a tealish sort of blue though for the sky here. I might just do that. Some of these blues I discarded earlier. I always kind of felt like pink characters look really good next to blue. So. So do we want to go for like more of a muddy sort of sky blue? Yeah. Sort of a. No, we'll start with the blue. We'll start with the. Yep. Better idea. Better idea. Do my purplish grays for the cloudy sort of bits, and then we'll kind of put a blue on top of it. I think that'll be a better option here. Maybe some warm grays as well. Still want to kind of portray that sort of war-torn world of Cybertron sort of look, while also kind of making it a bit more majestic looking. I want to kind of have a bit more vibrance than normal. Because we rarely see Cybertron in a very vibrant state, because we always kind of see the planet kind of torn apart through war and all that. Okay, now we'll kind of bring some blue. Actually, you know what? We'll get a slightly darker shade in before we do that. This is kind of dying, so I'll put a 7 instead. Might be a little bit too dark, but it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Just use it very lightly. Now I can throw in some blue. Maybe some green and a little bit of yellow, maybe later. Let's see. Or something else entirely. Maybe little bits of orange. All right. somewhere, kind of. So we'll bring that bluish green, I think. Yeah. All right. You know, I'm kind of surprised Grumpy hasn't shown up yet, because one's one of his favorite characters, so I'm kind of shocked he hasn't shown up yet. Watch in like 5 minutes or so, he's gonna pop in like, "Hey, what's going on?" Like, oh shit. All right. Let's see. Slight hints of orange. I love this. Is it honey? Y38. Just little dabs of it. I'll come back in with some green here. Just trying to really add to that sort of alien feel to the world here. This could almost be Caminus a little bit. Didn't really think about that. Because in IDW, that's where kind of Elita 1 kind of hung out in the books. Which I was a really big fan of the way they kind of did her in the IDW stuff. Didn't really like that. Don't really like the versions where they kind of erase her from Optimus Prime's backstory, but I kind of like having her around. As being a big part of his story and whatnot, because it's part of it's the classic sort of story and from the original cartoon. I still kind of think that you should kind of keep stuff like that. I have two of the same pen, so I'm just trying to see if this one's down too. Oh, I fucking refill this guy. It's not too bad, but here, just chill inside. I'm gonna refill it. It's be annoying. Why did you? I try to if I have two of the same marker, I try to refill only just one marker and let the other one die. Because there's no use in kind of spreading the juice, for lack of better terms, on multiple pens. Before I lay that shit down, gotta make sure I didn't overflow it. That's good enough. There we go, much better. Probably coming in just a minute with a darker shade, but this will work fine. Yeah, I think of this guy. Just want a little bit darker color to the edges here. Alright. Well, there's to leave the background for a minute now. Start on these buildings and probably color wrap after that. I'll probably work on this a little bit later on. But let's see. Do we want to be the same color, or we want to do something a little different for all of them? Let's see. I lean more towards bluish gray colors for the buildings. We use different sort of colors for different colors for bases for all of them, just kind of make them all stand out. That's how we kind of deal with the buildings here. Okay, and we'll start this today. Okay, I think we were here. Oh. Okay, now we can start adding some gray tones to kind of darken up the buildings, make them look more presentable, for lack of a better term. All right. All these bright colors. We need all grays now. So I might bring some more tone grays. Sort of black. Just adding little extra details here. Give the buildings a bit more character. Just add a little bit extra, just a little line work here and there. All right. Almost there. I think we're almost done. What time is that? Ooh, 5:30. Yeah, we could probably go for another 30 minutes. Just kind of put some touch-ups here. One of you guys think you see 4. Okay, where's my blender? Just want to pull back just a little bit on the edges here. Just want to tidy up the pinks just a little bit more. Hey, Denman, welcome back. Yeah, we're pretty close to being done. Just want to do a few touch-ups in there. Then we'll call it a wrap. Because we're going for almost 3 hours. Add a little more fibers to her. All right. All right. Got a few extra shadows here. All right, I think. All right. I think we're almost good to go there. I'll dark out some of these joints here so that they can help the arms kind of pop out a bit more. All right, we're almost there. Just got a little extra details here and there. Shall pull out some pockets. Too dull. Let's go with this guy. There we go. All right. Just want to grab my Uni-ball. Just little pockets of light shining through on the buildings here. Just little dots here. too much. Yeah, they need a Tombow. Or one. Shit. Fix that in a minute. Okay, I'll use this guy head. Don't want to go too thick lines here. And after this, we should be able to kind of wrap this up. All right, I think I'm ready to kind of call it quits here. Probably do some final touch-ups later on tonight, but I think I'm done for the day. So I just want to thank everyone for stopping by to just kind of hang out with me while I draw Elita 1 here. And just want to say thank you to Batman, Power, Castle, Master Maniacs, and Wade. Thank you guys so much for dropping by, and I will see you guys next weekend. Not too sure what I'll be doing next weekend, but yeah. But I'll figure it out as we go. So on that note, let's find us a clip to end us off on. I think we need to get more clips on this channel. All right. We'll do this one. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys later.
Fellow Decepticons. Fellow Decepticons, take heed. Your leader, Megatron, still lives. Though we remain dispersed throughout the far reaches of the galaxy, exiled from our true home, we are all still Decepticons, united by a common purpose. The time has come for us to put aside our differences and act as one under my undisputed leadership. Only then can we cast off the shackles of Autobot oppression. Working together, we can raise up our glorious empire once more and crush all who stand in our way.